Frustrated with these WNBA players. We're 48 hours away from another potential lockout being on the table. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to New York. Let's get it. Let's go. So we got a little update in the CBA negotiations, dog. Now, we're about 2 days away from the 9th. Now, the 9th is when the current deadline is set to expire at midnight that day. Now, with that being said, there's been many reports coming out that certain players are still frustrated with the owners. Well, I'm here to tell you.
A seismic tremor has just fractured the WNBA's very core, igniting Commissioner Adam Silver's unprecedented fury. Players unveiled a salary proposal so audacious, so financially devastating, that industry sources now project a staggering $700 million in losses, directly imperiling the league's very existence. This wasn't a negotiation. It was a tactical bombshell detonated just days before a critical deadline. Silver, having believed the deal was already secured, found himself utterly blindsided, now frantically intervening to salvage a situation spiraling out of control. The tension is acutely palpable, the stakes impossibly monumental, and professional women's basketball's future hangs precarious.
Tell you, we got updates on the matter. Now, word on the street is that Adam Silver is growing frustrated with this whole damn situation. He thought a deal was supposed to have been done a month ago. Now he got to step in, stop what the hell he's doing to help negotiate this whole thing. Now, I told y'all what it is. It's these ladies thinking that there's more money than what that WNBA actually have. I'm telling y'all, they're bankrupt. They ain't got no money really to give. They should just take their little $1 million, play the basketball, and help build this thing. Going on these rants, going on these little media tours, trying to undercut these owners is crazy to me. When these men...
At the heart of this escalating dispute, players are forcefully advocating for a dramatically elevated salary cap, targeting $10.5 million, alongside an unprecedented demand for a full 30% of the league's total gross revenue. This transcends any mere slight adjustment. It represents a colossal demand, a seismic financial shift palpably shaking league leadership. The comprehensive proposal, lodged just 2 weeks prior, remains officially unacknowledged, fostering a profound negotiation impasse and a frigid standoff. The sheer audacity of these demands has undeniably provoked intense indignation from the commissioner's office, revealing a stark ideological chasm between player aspirations and prevailing economic...
I told y'all what it is. It's these ladies thinking that there's more money than what that WNBA actually have. I'm telling y'all, they're bankrupt. They ain't got no money really to give. They should just take their little $1 million, play the basketball, and help build this thing. Going on these rants, going on these little media tours, trying to undercut these owners is crazy to me. When these men and women has been dealt bad hands for the past 30 damn years. Seems like everybody is forgetting that. Now, granted, Caitlin Clark coming has been a blessing, a tremendous blessing for him. But Caitlin Clark cannot fix 30 years of bad.
The league's visceral recoil to this audacious proposal sparked utter disbelief and deep alarm. Internal financial modeling forecasts a terrifying $700 million loss for the WNBA and its teams over the proposed CBA. This isn't a minor setback. It's a catastrophic fiscal black hole threatening to consume the league. Conceding 30% of gross revenue for a league perpetually on thin margins strikes Adam Silver and ownership as an unconscionable loss, an unsustainable path to insolvency.
A tremendous blessing for him. But Caitlin Clark cannot fix 30 years of bad baggage. 30 years of baggage. Now, what she probably could fix is 5 years, maybe 10, the more her fandom grow and bring new viewers. But guess what they do? They're talking about the new fans. They're killing the interest. Y'all talking about fans, tweeting, us making videos. Y'all doing everything y'all can to sabotage y'all current little hype that y'all got. To the point now where the hype is so bad, hell, it's hard to get 5,000 views on a video right now. I just got to keep it real because ain't nobody else going to see it. Everybody is struggling. If your name ain't Rachel...
This monumental crossroads for the WNBA isn't occurring in isolation. With under 48 hours remaining until the pivotal January 9th deadline expires at midnight, the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't merely a date, it represents far more. It's the very brink of a catastrophic lockout, a complete work stoppage poised to utterly paralyze the entire WNBA league. The palpable tension is suffocating as entrenched positions persist, leaving no discernible route to resolution. The relentless march of time intensifies the immense burden on Commissioner Adam Silver to miraculously forge an agreement, averting
to a point now where the hype is so bad, hell, it's hard to get 5,000 views on a video right now. I just gotta keep it real because ain't nobody else gonna see it. Everybody is struggling. If your name ain't Rachel Dementa, you're struggling. I'm sorry. It's that bad. But us trying to report on this thing is keeping on. So with that being said, bruh, let's dive into this article that has just been released about an hour ago, man. This is from Front Office Sports. Not even an hour, about an hour ago. So this is the current state of the WNBA. So WNBA hasn't countered players' latest offer.
Commissioner Adam Silver's long-simmering frustration has now violently erupted, escalating into what insiders unequivocally characterize as incandescent rage concerning the DMN debacle. He was under the firm conviction that a meticulously crafted, comprehensive deal had been irrevocably forged and ratified weeks prior, only to witness its catastrophic disintegration. This unprecedented collapse has compelled him to abandon his customary strategic oversight, thrusting him into the fray to personally engage in arduous, direct negotiation and mediation. His desperate efforts aim to resuscitate a consensus that appears agonizingly elusive, a stark testament to the profound crisis gripping the league and the deep-seated betrayal felt by its top
salary cap of $10 million, 30% of league revenue. The league believes it will cost it'll be an atrocious loss. 30% is crazy, bro. How do you give 30% of something you ain't got? They ain't got 30 to give. Damn, dog. Like, that's what crazy to me, man. Like, they want 30% of the money, but the money, where you gonna get the 30 from, y'all? Please let me know. It said a little more than 48 hours ahead of January 9th deadline, the WNBA and WNBPA remain at odds over a new collective bargaining agreement, according to sources familiar with the negotiation.
A significant discourse now scrutinizes players' grasp of the WNBA's fundamental financial health. Critics contend these demands arise from a deeply flawed perception, assuming far more capital exists than the league genuinely possesses. For nearly 30 years, the WNBA has fiercely battled chronic financial instability, consistently operating at a loss, surviving precariously. Therefore, demanding 30% of gross revenue from an entity functionally insolvent for 3 decades, struggling to even meet basic operational costs, is viewed by many as a profound miscalculation, an aspirational vision starkly disconnected from harsh economic realities.
They've been broke for 30 years, bruh. Damn, could you imagine somebody want half of your money and you've been broke for the last 30 years? By the grace of God, it's still a WNBA. Says details of the union's proposal were the first reported by ESPN last week. The league believes the proposal will result in $700 million in losses for the league and its teams over the duration of the CBA, according to that report. Goes on to say, you heard a lot of chatter about what we're asking for. It's not sustainable for the business. Nafisa Collier said during an Unrivaled broadcast Monday. Been on this side.
Fissy College's Unrivaled Monday broadcast revealed a stark, darker turn in the narrative, viewed from this critical perspective. Discerning observers vehemently lambast players' aggressive tactics. Combative media tour and public rants meticulously designed to undercut owners. This confrontational approach is perceived as not merely counterproductive, but profoundly disrespectful to the men and women who navigated the league through 30 immense years of financial hardship. A collective amnesia seems to have swept over players, neglecting decades of bad hands dealt to ownership, who steadfastly kept the WNBA afloat despite constant struggle, rather than abandoning it.
We're thriving in it. Y'all thriving in it. Your league only been around for 2 years. How could you base your 2-year data off 30-year data? They've been having to pay salaries, pay for arenas, pay for different things for the last 30 years. And they just now, we don't even know if they even made a profit. Just last year when Caitlin Clark came, they was at a $24 million loss. Do we all forget this? We can't forget. It is not rocket science, bro. Like, what is these ladies talking about here? Now, Fisa Collier been tripping. It says both sides agreed to second.
The dazzling rise of Caitlin Clark promised a golden age for the WNBA, an unprecedented surge of attention and viewership that felt like a miraculous turnaround. Yet this tremendous blessing, rather than an instant panacea, has ironically become the backdrop for an escalating crisis, exposing deep-seated financial vulnerabilities and igniting Adam Silver's palpable fury. For 3 decades, the league has grappled with profound financial baggage, accumulating enormous losses that Clark's generational talent simply cannot erase in a mere 3 years. Experts caution that her influence requires at least 5, perhaps even a full decade, to cultivate a truly robust fandom and secure the substantial new revenue streams necessary to meet the players' staggering demands. The current proposal, however, brazenly ignores this essential long-term growth trajectory, adding significant fuel to Silver's growing frustration. Disturbingly, some observers contend that the players' own actions are actively undermining the very interest and sabotaging the monumental hype Caitlin Clark has so miraculously ignited. Instead of strategically leveraging this golden era of newfound attention, their public disputes and seemingly unrealistic financial demands are alienating crucial potential fans and vital investors alike. Social media platforms are now awash with negative sentiment, as dismayed fans voice their disappointment, precipitating a tangible and worrying drop in overall engagement. This unfolding saga, tragically, now makes it difficult to even garner 5,000 views on WNBA-related content, starkly illustrating how swiftly this self-inflicted crisis is eroding precious goodwill. The alarming specifics of the players' proposal, initially dismissed by many as mere conjecture, were definitively confirmed by front office sports. This isn't an unsubstantiated allegation, it is a verified and chilling fact. The union is indeed aggressively pursuing approximately 30% of gross revenue, alongside a staggering salary cap of about $10.5 million. This granular level of detail, emanating from unimpeachable sources, has unequivocally solidified the league's gravest fears and grimly validated internal projections of potentially crippling losses. The undeniable and stark truth of these figures has now irrevocably set both sides on a dangerous collision course, from which there appears to be no easy escape. The central, unyielding question reverberating throughout the league's executive offices is as stark as it is profoundly deep. How do you give 30% of something you ain't got? For 30 arduous years, the WNBA has operated without significant, consistent profit, perpetually struggling just to break even. The very notion of ceding nearly half of its total revenue when, quite simply, there isn't half to give, is not merely unreasonable. It is a mathematical impossibility. This gaping financial chasm, separating player demands from the cold economic reality, lies at the very heart of Adam Silver's intense frustration, casting an ominous shadow of existential threat over the league's future. Even Nneka Ogwumike herself, a prominent advocate for players, previously conceded that what we're asking for is not sustainable for the business. Yet her subsequent statement appeared to directly contradict this pragmatic admission, suggesting the league merely needs to put people in place who can make it work, implicitly implying a thriving rather than struggling enterprise. This perceived inconsistency has only served to further exacerbate already heightened tensions. As league officials steadfastly point to decades of entrenched financial struggle, rather than a sudden inability to innovate, the stark reality remains. The current operational model, let alone a drastically expanded one, has consistently proven inherently precarious. Historical financial data paints an unremittingly grim picture, utterly dismantling any lingering notion of sustained prosperity. Even last year, amidst the unprecedented electric buzz generated by Caitlin Clark, the WNBA still reported a staggering $24 million loss. This profoundly crucial detail is conveniently overlooked by those relentlessly pushing for exorbitant demands. If the league cannot even turn a profit with its most significant marketing boost in history, how can it conceivably absorb a projected $700 million deficit? This isn't abstract theory, it's basic economics, unequivocally exposing a fundamental flaw in the players' current, ambitious expectations. The path leading to this perilous deadlock has been fraught with escalating tension. A second extension to the collective bargaining agreement was agonizingly secured just hours before its expiration on November 30th. This temporary, fragile reprieve, however, was almost immediately followed by a chilling and decisive development. The WNBPA authorized a strike. With an overwhelming 93% player participation and a resounding 98% voting to empower the union's executive committee to call a strike at will, this decisive vote unequivocally signaled the players' grim readiness to escalate, meticulously setting the stage for the current crisis and intensifying Silver's profound urgency. Should both sides fail to reach an agreement on a third extension by the critical January 9th deadline, the situation could plunge into a precarious status quo period. While neither a lockout nor an immediate strike would be automatic, this term carries a dangerous and strategic implication. Under status quo, the union gains the formidable power to initiate a strike at any point without the need to terminate the extended agreement. This strategic maneuver grants players immense leverage, yet it simultaneously cultivates an unpredictable, volatile environment, rendering the WNBA's immediate future incredibly precarious. Silver is demonstrably desperate to avert this high-risk scenario. The chilling prediction emanating from league insiders is not merely that a strike is possible, but that it is highly probable. Many believe that if no agreement materializes by late January 9th, the WNBPA, newly empowered by their recent overwhelming vote, will be the ones to inflict a work stoppage upon the league. This is far from mere speculation. It is an educated, grim forecast rooted in the union's firm, unwavering stance and the palpable breakdown in current negotiations. The horrifying prospect of players walking off the court, just as the league finally gains mainstream traction, represents an absolute nightmare scenario for Adam Silver. Contrast this escalating tension with the league's own proposal from early December, a counteroffer that now appears remarkably modest in comparison. It included 70% of net revenue, which credible sources estimated to be approximately 15% less than the players' demand, calculated based on gross revenue. This pragmatic plan would have increased the salary cap from $1.5 million to a substantial $5 million, leading to maximum salaries exceeding $1.3 million and an average salary surpassing $500,000. While undoubtedly a significant raise, it remains a vast cry from the players' current astronomical demands, starkly highlighting the immense ideological and financial chasm separating the two sides. Adam Silver's visibly etched frustration profoundly underscores the immense pressure he labors under to deftly navigate this treacherous negotiation. He is reportedly frustrated as hell that a deal cannot be struck, especially when the players are audaciously asking for what amounts to damn near half of the league's total revenue, even though fundamentally, the league don't even have half to give. This raw, emotional response vividly reveals the true depth of his concern for the WNBA's long-term viability, as he perceives the players' demands not as a reasonable negotiation point, but rather as a fundamental existential threat to its very existence. The looming, chilling threat of a season without basketball is morphing into an increasingly stark and undeniable reality. Players are demanding what the league unequivocally considers an unsustainable share of revenue, while owners stare down projected losses that could utterly cripple operations. The fundamental disconnect here is profoundly deep-seated. Silver sees the WNBA's very existence in peril, not merely its profitability. This isn't just about securing a little more money. It's about whether the league, as it currently stands, can possibly survive the players' radical financial reimagining without collapsing entirely under its own weight. The WNBA now stands at an incredibly critical crossroads, its entire future hanging precariously between ambitious, uncompromising player demands and a historically fragile, deeply challenging financial reality. This isn't merely a salary dispute. It is a desperate battle for the very soul and long-term sustainability of an entire professional league. Can both sides, against all odds, find elusive common ground before the inexorable January 9th deadline? Or will Adam Silver's simmering rage irrevocably transform into a bitter lockout, silencing the courts and potentially unraveling decades of hard-won progress? The world watches with bated breath as the fate of women's professional basketball hangs in a delicate balance, awaiting a resolution that could either define its legacy or tragically destroy it.